So this was pretty cool to end out the month of March. Bree and I went to our favorite spot on the Delmarva Peninsula. Basically not even a herp, just to hike around. And the first thing we saw, herp-wise, was this northern water snake just basking about 6 feet off the ground. It's really cool to see. First snake of the day. And then right after that, Bree spotted this guy with his head poking out of the water. It was another northern water snake. And after this, they kind of started showing up all over the place. It was really cool. And then not far away from those two was this other northern water snake. This was the one I got the best picture of, was able to get pretty close and you didn't get spooked. So again, this was really awesome to see this many snakes out. And then, believe it or not, this was my first pickerel frog of the year, so I took advantage to get some video. And then this right here was about the smallest water snake I found all year. I don't even know if I found one that small last year, but he was about to cross this road, so I got him to the other side so he didn't get squashed. But yeah, this was about, I think, the 5th or 6th water snake we found that day. And then right here was a very large common snapping turtle, just basking on top of the water. This was the first of many that day, spoiler alert. But always cool seeing these guys. It was a good day for snapping turtles and water snakes. And then right here, this was a little bit odd. This is a northern red-bellied turtle, and it was about like 30 feet from the water. It was just basking right there in the woods. It wasn't laying eggs or anything like that. It was just in this patch of sunlight, so we just got a few pictures and left it alone, but always cool to see. And then this was kind of interesting right here, kind of like the same deal. This was an eastern mud turtle that was just hanging out on the forest floor. We moved him to the other side of the trail, though. Not that people ride bikes on this trail or anything, but just figured we'd help him on his journey. I always love seeing mud turtles, but at this spot, they're usually pretty common. And then this was, I think, the second snapping turtle we found that day. I mean, this guy was on the move. You can see right here that he kind of just came out of brumation, more than likely was buried under the mud. About a mid-sized one, but yeah, we got him to the other side of the road and didn't lose any fingers in the process. And then this right here was a great way to close out the day. This was the largest snapping turtle we found that day. It was just out. I guess it was going to cross to the other side of the pond, but this thing was a monster. And pretty handsome too, if I might say. So this isn't the best video quality, but this was the last thing we saw that day. It was not a herp, obviously, but just really cool seeing this beaver carrying all these sticks and mud up onto the land. But like I said, this just kind of topped off a really awesome day for viewing wildlife. We saw a lot of birds and a fox, and Bree saw an otter too, but this was all the stuff we caught on camera. But pretty awesome for one day. So about a week later, I met up with a couple buddies on the eastern shore to do some herping. I stopped off at one spot real quick before I met them and found my first snake of the day, just this smaller northern water snake. These guys definitely were the star of this video, but it's so cool to see them out and about. And then only a few feet away from that one, I walked over and saw this one out basking. So again, pretty cool way to start the day. Snakes were definitely out. It's always good to start with stuff out basking. And then over in this spot, if you look down into this crevice, we found this eastern rat snake just hanging out down there. You can get a little glimpse of him. And right before him, there was a racer that had bolted. And then we were walking along the trail, we saw another racer bolt, and surprise, hanging out right next to him was this beautiful eastern rat. This one was around probably like sub-adult size, like starting to get big, but not there yet. But yeah, those were my first and second eastern rats of 2025, my favorite species. So I was very excited to find them and get some shots. And then here at another spot, Carl and Kyle spotted this. Me and Dave drove right past it. It was a racer basking along this lake area here. So that was pretty cool to see. We had saw a few racers earlier in the day. Here's a better look at him. I was able to get a little bit closer without spooking him. But yeah, I think this was racer number 5 that day. And then a few days later, I had some time after work to hit a local spot. where I've got some tin and there's some rocks out and stuff. Just wanted to see what was out because it was a little bit warmer. And I decided to take advantage of the fact that it's starting to, stay light longer in the day. And I usually have pretty good luck at this spot throughout the year, so I was really happy to find these two little cute DeKay's brown snakes under the same piece of tin. The one on the left was a little bit bigger. Well, no, the one on the right was bigger. The one on the left had some type of weird wound on it. It looked almost like a shedding thing, but it actually looked like it was something that was trying to heal up. So I put him down because I didn't want to handle him too much. And then I got some, decent in-hand footage of this DeKay's brown snake. These guys, I've always said that Sturaria, I think that's how you pronounce it, that's them and red bellies, has to be like the cutest genus of snakes. I mean, just look at that right there. He's trying to look tough and look big, but he just doesn't know how to look anything else but adorable. Unless you're like a slug or earthworm, then a DeKay's brown snake probably looks pretty terrifying, but really cool to find. And then not too far down from where I found those brown snakes, I flipped that rock right there on this rock wall, and I double flipped ringneck snakes. These were my first ringneck snakes of the year. I was only able to grab one though. The other one bolted off into that brush. But it's still really cool to see. These guys are usually my most common find of the year, up there with garter snakes. But for some reason, I don't end up finding them until like mid-April. I know other people that find them in like late March and all that. It usually takes me a minute, but yeah, I know eventually I'll probably get tired of finding these guys, especially after my first mountain trip when I flipped like 7 under one rock, but still cool to find right now. And then I flipped the rock right next to there and found this beautiful garter snake. Now, I was at this location about a week ago, and I flipped a rock that was probably like 10 feet away from this one and found a garter snake that looked really similar to this one. So this one might actually be a recapture, believe it or not. But yeah, I love this brown pattern on them. I never get tired of finding garter snakes. Thamnophis is one of my favorite genuses. That's them and ribbon snakes. So like I said, just finding them, especially in like large populations of them, is really cool. But yeah, that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be sure to keep putting some more material out. It's getting warmer out. The snakes are on the move, and I'm going to try to catch them on video. So thanks again. Take care.